Hello everyone and welcome to the podcast. Today we have a really special guest. Hello guest. The guest is taking some time to come. Oh my god, Scalpels, what are you doing? We are waiting for the guests. Meanwhile, I probably have a cool song to share with you. It is the Purchase jingle. Let's go. Okay, so the guest is still not here, so what are we doing? Alright, let's go. Are you ready for the episode? Because this is taking quite some time right now for the guest to come. But he'll come at some point. Alright, let's go. Let's go the podcast, guys. I will maintain a little bit of patience here and we'll be chill with it. So yeah. I never timed the jingle, maybe. Maybe because you guys love the jingle. But I'll edit it a little bit. I'll put some reverb and stuff. It'll sound really juicy. Hello everyone and welcome back to Purchase Podcast. And today we have a really special guest. His name is Scuttlepuss. Hello Scuttlepuss.
Hello, Stovich. How are you doing?
I'm really good because today we're gonna talk about the primal nature. So what do you think about what is the primal nature for you, Scuttlepuss?
Well, the scuttle is always a deep drive within that instincts that any primordial being has. You might be asking me, what is a scuttle even?
Exactly.
To scuttle, it's a verb, okay? It's a verb. It's an action.
What does he mean?
It's a direction. It's almost like a flee from nature, but it also means to like walk on a ship. So it's like how do you deal with uncertainty? Pretty much is,
So it's basically flowing, right? Flowing while trusting.
It's actually kind of a fear-driven thing.
I think your cat actually destroyed your mind.
You think so?
Yeah, it was really painful to the eardrums. Okay, so it's
chew into it.
It's an instinctual thing, right?
Yeah, it's like a fleeing to safety or like trying to find stability. So it's like it's that discomfort that drives it. So it's not necessarily like, like I guess what I'm trying to say about it is that it's trying to find balance or a stable ground to stand on or to exist onto.
Within mayhem.
Yeah, within mayhem.
Okay, and what about pus?
Well, that is also one of the most deeply rooted primordial programmings. And the puss, well, it's what brought us all here, and it's what we're all after once we come out of it.
Okay. Can you explain more deeply?
Well, at a physical level, it is one of the components for reproductive reproduction of a mammalia species.
Okay.
Feminine.
I think the audience got what you're actually pointing to. So
yeah, well, to go deeper, it's like, it's that thing that like it's the portal from the unmanifested into the manifested.
So it's the portal from the Des Maya to the Maya.
Yeah.
Have I told you that about like in Spanish, the desmayarse?
Oh, you did mention it, but why don't you explain that to the audience?
Yeah. So Maya is Maya. So you know what Maya is, the show. And
well, I know what Maya is, but our audience may not be familiar with the terminology of Maya.
Okay. So Des Maya, like Des is like the negative form of it. So it's to go out of Maya to go out of Maya in a way that you're not in Maya. So Maya is consciousness. So that's Maya is to go unconscious or to faint in Spanish, and say is the reflexive verb. So it's like you go out of Maya. Do you have a cool Maya definition?
Well, I would say that Maya is Maya is the separation or measurements or anything that produces a component, you know?
How do you
Or-
relate that back to the pus and the scuttle?
Well,
Because you use the component word too there. So how do you complement these two?
How do I complement
things?
those together? Or
Yeah,
how do
you
those
can
two
use-
components complement each other?
Yes. How do they complement each other?
So those two components complement each other because think about this, okay? As a human or a Homo sapien or a bipedal,
A tripod?
well, my cat is not. Well, one of my cats is a tripod,
The other one a quad.
the other one has an eye patch and one eye. So
Oh God,
I don't know what we're doing around with our cats around here.
Basically threw the cat out.
But okay, those two complement each other because all right, think about back in the old days when we were more before the Neolithic
caveman?
Revolution. Okay, we're going
Caveman.
back in time here. We're in a time machine.
Which one?
Before the pre
The medieval or the caveman?
the Neolithic Revolution is caveman era. Before that,
Okay.
Neolithic Revolution is
Oh, you want to go back to monkey?
almost monkey, but not monkey.
Okay.
We were bipedal at that point, so we weren't monkey.
Okay.
But yeah, we were living in tribal communities and inhabiting caves and making wigwams and shit out of mammoth hide and tusks and ribs and shit. And okay, think about it this way. The way that it was that the women were gatherers and the men were hunters. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of took this bit from a comedian that I don't know the name of, but like, it made a lot of fucking sense. This is what started all of society. This is how it all fucking works. And Scuttlepuss, you know, that's the combination of this whole concept that is, you know, authentic to myself. But I will say that what I'm alluding to here is when the village needed food and they're like, well, why don't you go get some fucking food? And then the dude's like, well, there's tigers and bears out there. I don't know if I really want to do that right now. And then the woman pulls up and she spreads her legs and she goes, look at that. You want some of that, bro? And then you're like, fuck yeah, I really do want some of that. Well, go get the food then. Go get the fucking food then.
All right.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
To scuttle the puss is you must go through the mayhem, also that you can come home and be rewarded. And I'm not saying that it has to be that exact way or that, but this is just very deeply rooted in the human experience and the collective consciousness of humanity.
Well, yeah. So this program, is there a way to transcend it?
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, look at us. We don't have any women around.
Yeah, okay. I want to actually take this piece of information.
I have a pussy cat here, and he has one eye, dude.
Oh, you have animals, so it's cool.
Yeah.
I want to take this piece of information and relate it to my like actual pseudonym, which is snowish, or depends on what language you say. Because in French, you say snowish. In German, you say snowish, which has a different meaning, by the way. So
really?
I'll explain all of them, yeah. Well, in German, ich, with one I means I.
Yeah, I know
okay.
eek.
And yeah, ik is like in Dutch, so yeah, it means that. And I didn't know that when I actually conceived that username back in the day. But then I was like, oh yeah, and And I had in mind, oh, it means I am snow, even though snow in German is Schnee. I am.
I love that, dude.
Yeah, German is really cool, and I have like an actual English. I am an English snow in German. Okay, so that was cool, but it's not going back to the primal like evolutionary state of my username, which was back then the snow. So why the snow? I don't know. I don't really remember. I can't go.
Oh, there's this
that
movie
far.
called Powder, and I feel like that's why.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know if you've seen that movie or even
I
know
haven't
about
seen it,
it.
but I heard
I
of
know
it. Yeah.
Yash talks about it. I know
Yeah,
Yash has talked about it.
Is that about the deer that gets killed?
No, that's Bambi, bro.
No. Isn't there a movie
there is
like this?
yeah. Powder, there is a deer that dies, and the guy is so emotional that like he connects
that
with
is
this
Powder, right?
dying deer. Yeah, and the
Okay.
guy is so white that they call him Powder, and he's like pretty much albino, and that's why.
Okay.
And
Maybe
he's
it
bald
comes
too, kind of like you. So.
Oh yeah, well, monk vibes. So the snow, which I don't know why, but white because of that. Because I don't know, maybe I liked the snow a lot when I was like younger, and so this snow, you know. And
Well, you love penguins too, yeah.
I love Yeah, penguins live in really white, bright, actual vibrant, you know.
There is
atmosphere.
penguins that live in South America in the deserts, though.
Oh yeah, I'm not talking about these Bugus penguins though. So,
oh, okay, that's some shade.
No, they're cool.
Continue, though.
I'm not saying they're funny or anything, but they're probably more funny than funny. So we're talking about. Bro, they look weird. They just jump in the water in a weird way. Like okay, guys, you can check on the on the Purges channel. I have a playlist called mesmerize what's the word?
Mesmerize?
Mesmerizing things about life, and you'll find some videos about penguins there and frogs and stuff. It's really funny. It's worth the worth the watching. There's even a panda. The panda that are like pandas are really funny. Just go watch it if you want.
Yeah.
To. And that wasn't the point. The point is snow. And the primordial thing of that is I made it snowish. So actually, right now, I took it from sand. So the sand that is color yellow, which is really similar to the snow, just that the snow falls from the sky. The sand is just there because it's sand. It's actually instead of a sandwich, which I really like sandwiches. It's a snowish. So it's like I'm eating myself in a snow way, you know. So that's the primordial part of it. And to go back to the primordial part of the word sand, it's really funny because sand is called sand because it's not sea, but it's not land either, so it's sand.
This is, you know, as a child, I would think about this. Like, what if snow was warm? And how would that be like? And then the conclusion always was sand is pretty much warm snow.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad that you also had this epiphany.
Oh yeah, I am the snowish epiphany himself.
Well, I guess to continue and further this conversation past snow and sand and animals, which are all very vibrant and intricate and essential parts and pieces of the primal experience. Earlier, I was talking to V about my cat because I have to take him to the doctor tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And, you know, like, this is like this instinct to nurture and care for and love things that, you know, even outside of our species, you know, we domesticated animals previously, but that was actually an invention of the Neolithic Revolution for the most part. So before that, we didn't really interact with other species in such a symbiotic way. But now today, you can see where we have symbiotic relationships with almost every animal or species on the planet, even if we are killing and destroying the environment at unprecedented rates.
Well, see, what's the word you're saying? Can't pronounce it.
Which one?
Symbiotic or something.
Oh, symbiotic. Yeah.
Yeah, the symbiotic doesn't mean it's necessarily positive. You know, it can
No,
be like both sides.
symbiotic is always mutually beneficial. Parasitic
Okay.
would be always negative. So
Okay.
like
Yeah.
say
Right.
like a tick or a leech or a lamprey on a shark. Those are examples of parasitic life forms. There's another type. I will look it up.
Neutral one.
Terms of
Neutral one.
Yeah, I'm looking for a neutral one, which is like I think it might be mutualism. Other. Yeah, I think it may be communalism, which is like a tree. It's when a relationship is which one organism benefits while the other is neither helped nor harmed. Barnacles that grow on whales, for instance. But yeah, there's a lot of ways that species interact, other than the human component of it. But bringing that back, there's, even deeper with like a child or something.
That's really natural.
Yeah, that's extremely natural. And I was talking to this woman about it, actually a friend of a friend or something, acquaintance maybe. And we were talking about parenthood and like, I was like, I picked up Nibbler and I was just holding him like a fucking baby. And I was like, mother love baby. And when baby cry, you feed it. If baby cry, you put it to bed. When baby cry, you put it down or something. Like, you'll just instinctually know and how to treat the baby. And if the baby's not responding well to what you're doing, then you instinctually know to try something else.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't require a mind. And this person I was talking to, well, yeah, this person was mind oriented and was a little confused. And I was like, it's actually really, really simple because, if you have something that's in your field and vicinity that requires to be nurtured, there's a part of us that are always willing to offer something to this, entity. And I guess it's a little worrying that I was able to explain this, but a woman was unable to. So what's happening here?
Which woman?
Oh, it does not matter. It really doesn't. What I'm saying is that I was not romantically involved with this person. This was just a conversation.
Are you talking about your cat being a woman?
No, I'm not. My cat is a male, first of all, and no, I'm not talking.
No, that doesn't exist, man. I'm talking about cats are women and dogs are men. That's what it is. No, I mean the last babe I was involved with was really rough. So she was more
rigid.
of the, yeah. I mean, not necessarily rigid.
Stiff.
Yeah. Okay. She was into dogs because of that characteristic. So does that make her a male? Not necessarily. So that's my point. How does the primalness of a dog means that a dog is a male, but that a dog can be a female? How does it make it more sweet or more nurturing?
Well, okay. I'm not really sure about the gender concepts about all this. I honestly don't agree. I can see why people say these things, but it's obviously not true. Second of all, the way that the domestication of the canine and the feline has occurred is different. Okay, let me tell you something. You don't own a cat. The cat owns you, and you own the dog, and the dog is your servant.
Okay.
And this is because the dog says, you feed me, you take care of me, oh, you must be God. And then the cat sees it as, oh, you feed me, you take care of me, you give me shelter, I must be God.
Yeah. So is that because one has the male program and the other has the female program?
Well, to be fair, I mean, I see what you mean by, acknowledging the dichotomy. And I guess for that purpose,
No,
yes.
because in society, that's what's happening on really unconscious level with many males and females.
Well, that's
the
why
males,
I'm saying yes. Is that is the closest we can come to talk about it.
So are cats and dogs the same as males and females humans?
I think it's a nice way to reflect on the situation and the relationship. Think about it this way: like, dogs were used to help hunt and drag sleds and stuff, and cats, well, cats were in Egypt, these people were building pyramids and messing with their consciousness by doing lily pads and acacia trees, and they were having these cats protect them from non-physical malevolent energies, the whole completely different realm and purpose. Think about it in Minecraft. When you have a dog, you're using that dog to go and follow you around and stuff, and
Okay, it's a wolf.
Yeah, it's a wolf, but that's what dogs are, just stupid wolves. And then when you have a cat in Minecraft, what does the cat do? The cat sits in your house, and then creepers can't come.
Yes.
So the creepers are real, dude. The creepers are real, and because we have cats, we haven't seen a creeper in centuries.
Well, like you said, they're not physical.
No, yeah, they're like Slender Man, just like
who?
Slender Man.
Oh, that's like some kind of creepypasta.
Yeah, that's exactly what that is.
Okay.
It's the original creepypasta.
Oh, great. So my question is about still the dogs and the cats. Does that mean that the cats are in a higher dimension than dogs? Well, are the cats in 8D and the dogs in 5D?
Well, I definitely think that it's I think that it's like Atman and Brahman almost. You know? I don't know if I can. I feel like the cats would be Brahman and the cat would be, or the dog would be Atman. But I'm not sure if that's just me trying, because I haven't thought about it this way before, so I don't. That was just me trying to explain it, because Brahman is self-awareness and then Atman is just awareness. I don't think a dog is as self-aware as a cat is, because you can see when a cat, for instance, when Nibbler hears me talking about him, I can tell that his awareness is now directed at me, even though he's just chilling like a boss. Another example is when he'll run and he'll do something stupid or mess up, and he'll feel embarrassed, and I can see that. And then he'll nonchalantly try to play it off like nothing happened. Why would he do that? A dog doesn't do that. A cat is doing that because it's self-aware and it's like, man, I was really fucking goofy right there. I need to protect my aura, so I'm gonna still be cool, bro. He's like, I can't lose aura points for that.
But this kind of behavior is actually lower level than what a dog would do.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is it one is higher and one is lower, or is one has more ego, or one has less?
Yeah, that's a good question for you guys. Which one of the two aforementioned species have more ego?
And I would say that a dog has less, because
that's a question for the audience, by the way. You're not allowed to answer.
Okay.
No, you can give your point. I'm trying.
I was just gonna give my opinion because, I only talked about the cat's ego, and I was gonna say like dogs.
Yeah, give me your take about the dogs.
The dog's ego is like, I'm here to serve you and love you, and I'm your companion, and I'm like, so I will do everything I can for you, And I mean, in service to all is a very like non-egotistical thing.
It's really brown.
But yeah. But the thing is like when you have food in front of a dog, you think that dog's gonna fucking save anything for that, anything else? No, it's gonna eat that food all up. But a cat is nowhere near as dominant or I guess aggressive around food like that. Even when Nibbler was a street cat and starving, I mean, he was, not like that.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Maybe we'll actually touch on different other species in the next episodes. I feel like turtles and penguins are a really good one.
Yeah. I mean, I guess another thing that I wanted to talk about, because we've been talking about animals and hunting and relationships, is that...
And the puss.
And the puss.
And the scuttle, yeah.
And the snow bitch. Oh my god. Oh my god, that one hurt, dude. That came from hell, dude. That was the pits of Tartarus just screaming. So I guess maybe that's what we got to talk about, is that unconscious drive that pushes us to evolve and become something else. And the first inclusion of that and the evolution of consciousness from a survival only organism was when we were seeing, displays of art like we've talked about on the channel already, like in cave art, and even the signing of hands on the walls to immortalize and remember the people that created the art and lived in these caves and our ancestors. But also music. Art and music was developed in that time, before the Neolithic Revolution. Before we had anything that we experience today, we had art and music and philosophy.
So does that mean that art is, in a way, the pivot of what actually makes people evolve more, or just evolve at all?
Well, it definitely helps. That's for sure. It's like, I don't know if art is the driving force. Perhaps it's the product of the driving force.
But it's not the source.
No, I think that it's a byproduct of that, instinct to understand and develop something. And for music, we also had storytelling, but, just wanted to say that before we forget. But, for music, like when we would be around the fire, or like gathering in the tribe, we would have singing and drums and just something that connects the whole experience of these individuals together into one, one synchronized thing. And I feel like whereas art is self-expressive, music is collectively expressive.
Yeah, music is art.
Well, yeah, I know. What I'm saying is they're both art forms. They're just, one is sound and one is, light.
Okay, so is the sound like a cat and the visual art like a dog, or the opposite?
Well, I feel like dogs are a whole lot louder than cats are.
But that's only the sound vibration level. So
yeah, but they produce a lot more sounds in general. Like barking is like very primal and way of communication. Like,
oh yeah, by the way, we have to touch on that, which is the screaming of the primal nature we had.
I'm sorry, the what?
The screaming.
Oh, screaming, like me screaming all the time. Yeah.
Not only you. Everyone that is going through this really intense metamorphosis.
I mean,
The screaming out.
One of the biological mechanisms that occur when you scream is that you release adrenaline, which is something that has kept us alive and given us strength and the ability to overcome obstacles that normally, without the release of adrenaline, may be even impossible.
All right.
So, like,
It's
okay, I've seen videos of, like, modern day man seeing a bear, and this guy is, like, fucking screaming his head off and punching this bear, and honestly, I was a little jealous I wasn't there. Because if I had the opportunity to fight this bear, bro, I would have.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about Russians, yeah.
Yeah, those guys don't fight the bears, bro. They're friends with the bears. So that means that they're a lot more, in tune with nature and just have lighter spirits, perhaps. But this bear wanted to eat this guy, okay? And he was going monkey. He was literally making the monkey sounds and hitting like a monkey. And, like, that still happened. Like, we're 140,000 years down the road. Bear and man in a confrontational situation still behaves and acts the same way. You know, what you got to do is you got to be big and you got to show that bear you're not going anywhere. Because if you run, that thing's going to run faster than you, and it will climb a tree and it will eat you.
What do we have to do? Do we have to just...
That's what I said. It's like you have to scream and you have to make yourself present yourself as bigger and defensive.
What if you can do that?
Oh no, that's like all that's what you got to do.
Okay.
Like, so if you don't do that, the bear wins and you get eaten by the bear. Unless you have pepper spray or like bear spray or like a 12 gauge buckshot, or not even a buckshot, like a slug round.
So in this example, the bear is the dog or the cat. But what about the snake?
Snake.
What do you have to do? Do you have to climb a tree?
Well, snakes are interesting because you might not always see them. So is this in a situation when you see them, or
yes?
Okay, because in a situation you don't see them and they bite you, the best bet you have is to suck that poison out of your skin and as soon as possible and spit that out onto the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And get to a hospital. But generally, if you get bitten, you're done. And is this a venomous snake or is this a constrictor?
Well, you can give the example for both.
Okay. Well, you definitely don't want to get close to a constrictor, especially if that constrictor is bigger than you. Like a Monty Python. Those things can get like 28 feet long. And that is a serpent that will literally strangle your whole body and then eat you all. So you really don't want to get close to that dude. In the case that you do get close to it, I'm pretty sure you want to go limp. Because the more that you struggle, the tighter it gets. And if it thinks you're dead, it's going to leave you alone. But the problem is that they have heat and thermal vision, so they can actually tell if you're dead or not.
He won't leave.
So he won't leave, and he's going to try to eat you if you're alive or not. So I guess your best bet is to find a rock and smash its head in. That's what I would do. And
you
like,
would
it's
always
not
carry
poison.
a machete, though.
I'm saying if you don't have a machete, you got a rock, dude. Because your fists and you're not going to be able to strangle that thing either. Like, unless you like really go down on its neck. Or like maybe if you take its fucking jaws and like rip it apart, and then that's the only way. With your bare hands. So I guess with a viper or like a king cobra, when those guys, they will get up in your face and they'll try to like say, "Leave me alone." They'll give you a warning first because the king cobra is the king, it will kill anything in the jungle. Nothing wants to mess with it. And if it doesn't want to eat you, it's not going to try to kill you. So it will give you a warning, and a rattlesnake will hit you with the rattle. So most of these venomous snakes don't want to fight you. So if you keep your distance and slowly like walk away and keep eyes like on it and make sure that you are not close to it, you're gonna most likely be safe. If you do not have the ability to walk away, or like this thing is like trapping you, you really want to grab it by the fucking neck, not the tail. You can grab it by the tail. That's second best option. But the thing is, it can still swing its head around and bite you if you grab its like tail. So if you grab it by the neck and you hold it there, it's not going to be able to do anything. So you better get a good shot, and you better get that one shot good. So if you grab it by the neck, you're going to hold it and you're going to say, okay, I'm going to let you go, but you're not going to come near me. So you can like throw it or something. I mean, you could try snapping its neck too if you really want to murder it, but we don't condone murdering. Only
you have to just throw him away.
Yeah, you just have to toss him, or you could try to put him in like a container and then like re-release him. Unlike some people,
well,
like
that's for exposition purposes.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Pretty brutal, I know.
Some people pretty brutal. Is that what
like,
you mean?
Well, it's sorry, I had to clear my throat a little bit. It's just very primal, like when you're in a
kill?
Yeah, murder or killing or violence is very primal because that's the environment that our ancestors and our genome had to adapt within.
Okay, so what is it we're trying to transcend here? Why transcending anything, and what is the thing we want to transcend? Like, is it murder? Is it not having cats? Is it like not fighting a snake?
Not fighting a snake? Well, okay. Okay. So I guess like look at this. How we don't necessarily need to kill anything nowadays. Like if we all were per se, vegetarian or only ate from animals that had died, which generally is not as healthy, to be honest, because usually the animals that are dying or have died are sick or old. So, and we're omnivores. We're not scavengers or decomposers. So
no.
It's not far-fetched for us to kill for the purpose of eating. But for sport, that's something that we do as well, and we also fight war, which is also well, that's the thing, is war was a tribal and survival-based mechanism back in the day, for resources or territory, and animals do this as well. Ants are fighting the largest scale land combat all the time on every fucking continent.
Yeah.
And those are the most complex multicellular organisms.
Big up to the ants.
Yeah, the ants outnumber us, and they're waiting. They're waiting for us to slip up once.
Yeah.
And they fight war too. So something that I have thought about is that I've seen a lot of these animals produce these maybe perhaps what humans may not consider innately human. Like ants are fighting wars, and like wolves will do this too. Chimps do this. Gorillas not so much, but chimps really do have tribal combat, and orangutans do not do any of this because 40,000 years ago they were separated by the Great Ice Age and be forced into isolative lifestyles. So they're just like constantly missing community in their tribe and forced to be in like very small numbers with just a mother or a child, for instance. So the environment really plays a lot, but and also like dolphins, they'll like get high on pufferfish and like rape baby seals and even try to rape humans and stuff. Like, a lot of these things are these animals' behaviors like like this because of humanity and humanity's like influence on the environment, or
I think that's
are
the
all
opposite because we're coming from the water, you know.
well, that's what I'm saying is like, or actually was all this here in that primordial soup, and we fucked up because instead of letting it just happen in the ocean, we walked on land and we were like, well, we gotta do it here now too.
We gotta conquer.
We have to rape, pillage, and loot.
Oh wow. So you're telling that in the animal kingdom, each animal has its set of things to transcend.
Well, I don't
do
even know if it's necessarily something necessary transcendental or ascending, or
we have
it's
to
just
transcend it to evolve.
well, yeah, it's but evolution occurs in other ways, even if one of these aspects was not transcended. Like,
But at some
for
point,
instance,
like because if there will always be wars and it won't be peace, so there won't be that transcendental point to get to the next level.
well, I understand what you're saying, but the thing is like these things are happening. Like, it doesn't just stop, and like no matter what you and I do, it's not going to just stop. You know,
it is gonna stop at some point.
Well, maybe that's when the sun explodes or when the Earth dies out.
without any like
like I know that's the case, yeah, but
naturally, well, that might
that
be
is
also
naturally that is natural. I'm just
So
saying.
are you telling the audience that we're just cooked and doomed?
Are we just cooked, bro? Perhaps. I mean, we've had 6 mass extinction events that we're aware of.
Oh yeah.
On this
I
planet.
only know one.
You don't know anything. I know.
No, I only know one. Dinosaurs, which I thought were dragons.
Dragon. Yeah, there's 6 of them, and the dinosaurs was actually one of the worst one, where 96% of all living biomass was extinct.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing that
reset, yeah.
The only thing that survived was the rodents and like, you know, pretty much the most, I guess, the scavengers, like, and decomposers and producers were what survived. Like very rudimentary or basic foundational essentials of multi or complex life.
Mm-hmm.
Everything bigger than that died because there wasn't enough oxygen or sunlight. Well, like algae was still able to be there.
No, the other extinctions.
Oh, well, you know, the Ice Age was one of them. And that's a lot of things died. There was
there.
Well,
everything froze.
Yeah, everything froze, and you know, the only reason why humans survived is because they were able to expedite and pioneer, you know, new environments and travel. We are actually the longest distance runners or, you know, travelers to exist because of our bipedal nature and our like bodies. So we can go as far as possible, and if you kept moving, that's why we kept alive, because you would keep up your, you know, temperature and your heat and stuff, and you would find food that way.
Okay.
So the constant state of moving, which is actually what a shark is. A shark survived almost all of this, and same with the horseshoe crab. Like these, like some of these things are like meta as hell. Like they have reached peak evolution, have barely changed at all in like 500 million years. And most of these
that was
animals,
the point. The question.
Yeah, okay, I'm getting there. The shark, dude. Let's look at the shark. The shark never stops moving. It is always moving. It is a lean, mean killing machine. it will not stop. It will always be on the move. It's always hunting. It's always on to the next, and it won't stop no matter what comes its way. And it's been doing it since it was contrived and evolved into a shark. And it was actually one of the first fish or aquatic life forms to form a jaw. Before that, there was no jaws. And when it had a jaw, that was why it was such a predominantly effective at hunting, is because it actually was able to clamp down on its prey and chew it.
Well, in this case, you're telling me that the shark got graced by God to have a jaw at first. So has the shark really evolved to any point? Because it's still killing things. So is there any transcendental thing for the shark?
Well, that's what I'm saying, is the shark has not changed in 500 million years.
So has the shark...
It's peak shark. It's the most shark a shark can be. There's no more being a shark than being a shark.
Maybe there is.
Well,
maybe the shark is just stuck in this pattern that...
I know what Dr. Evil would say. He would go, laser sharks. I don't know if you know.
That doesn't answer the primal question.
It does answer it. Is that the only way to go past the primordial evolution is to artificially inseminate a new aspect or characteristic of that design, like adding a laser to the shark and saying, well, fuck, sharks weren't dangerous enough, so put lasers on them.
Okay, without the intervention of third dimension entities.
Okay, so I guess what I'm saying is, like, maybe once you've reached a peak evolution, that is the evolution, is knowing that you have this, effect or response or to stimulus, and that is what is carried out, and it does it so well there is no need to change.
So is a shark a Brahmin?
Shark is probably actually probably like Ram, bro.
All right, so we are dominated by sharks. Great.
Yeah, sharks are just like, the sharks are like, they're perfect pretty much, like. And the same with the horseshoe crabs. Look at the horseshoe crabs. They don't kill things like that. They just kind of do their thing, Like, they have stingers, and those guys are even been around longer than sharks have been unchanged. Like, I think I want to say like 1 billion years. I'm looking it up.
Horseshoe crabs are actually the ones dominating the sharks, and then the sharks
they're about
dominate the humans.
Yeah, sharks are actually.
No, if you go there to Australia and just want to swim a little
so
bit.
Actually, sharks and horseshoe crabs have been around for the same time, but sharks haven't evolved for 90 million years, really. They have changed a little bit before that, but definitely they've been the same for almost 100 million years. But horseshoe crabs are standing at very strongly at about 500 million years of unchanging.
Okay, so horseshoe crabs, top one.
And I'm also, what are they called? No, not mollusks, but is it mollusks? No, that's a fucking snail, bro. Oh, wait, hold on. I think I found it. Nautilus, bro. That's what I was thinking of.
Which one?
A nautilus. Yeah, it's like a squid with a shell.
Okay. Yeah,
I literally. Those guys are also about the same era, and so what happened is before that, yeah, there was a very big mass extinction before that, 500 million years, but they outlived all the dinosaurs and all of that. This is wow. Yeah, this is really long ago.
Can you remember?
I'm trying to pull out all the years of me sitting at the TV screen learning about all this for 15 years, and it just is compiling again. It's I was so into Animal Planet and dinosaurs and all that stuff. So it's
I
like,
know. That's why I said you're the special guest of today's episode. The
yeah,
animal
the
expert.
scuttlepoos.
Yeah, animal expert. Amazing. You know, in Zimbabwe.
Well, I'm
I
looking
guess
at
you could say
National
Zimbabwe.
Geographic right now.
What?
Nat Geo Wild right now to try to,
Oh,
but it's trying to get me to like. Oh
you know the
no!
ropes, huh?
Well, I know everywhere to get the like. I remember the first time I figured out seahorses males give birth. That blew my mind, and this was actually something that they showed human males are capable of as well, hypothetically. I can't remember how they explained it, but I remembered it was just insane. I was like, bro, you mean to tell me I could have a baby? Like, what if that was the case? What if men were the ones that gave
that would
birth and like women were
That
the
would-
ones that inseminated?
Oh, okay, no, yeah, okay.
Like, let's
Then,
just say
just
nothing
the
else was
opposite.
different about men and women except I produce milk. Or no, actually even women produce the milk for some reason still, and they just inseminated us and I just pooped the baby out. Like just think about that.
You pooped the baby out.
Like, that'd be pretty crazy.
That would be feasible.
I know, but I'm saying that what if that was the case?
Man, I don't know.
Okay,
Wait,
okay.
There
So
would be some war. Like, well, there's already war, shouldn't we? Of sex and drugs and all.
So I guess the Cambrian period is about where most of like the multicellular organisms were, inhabiting this planet. And this was after a long period of, mushrooms were like the only thing that were the only like multicellular organism. And I'm talking Animalia or plant-based, because the mushrooms were the ones that actually made the atmosphere and environment inhabitable after all the chaotic volcanic eruptions and the crust forming and all that.
Fungi are like, it's really a cross, like, not a breed, but like it's not an animal, it's not like a human either, or like dead matter, like it's just a mix of all that. And well, you could say that fungi are like dogs and cats together,
Well, they're actually, yes, most animal, like the only reason that most of us exist is because we actually have a lot of the genome similar, or at least the foundational genome similar to that of fungi. And that is because they're multicellular, and the two to do that is plants and fungi, and then eventually, somehow, animals came out of that. But after the Cambrian period, and like things were in the oceans and starting to, actually, it was the Ordovian Silurian extinction that happened 440 million years ago. That's where most of the animals we were talking about actually survived that mass extinction, or were, evolved to that point previously after it.
That's something to answer the question.
What was the question?
About transcendence. Like,
what I'm saying is that if 6 of these events occurred and these animals have not been affected at all, are they essential? Well, maybe, but that's what I'm suggesting. Well, that's what I'm suggesting, is perhaps they're essential to this experience. And maybe that their place is here.
Yeah, but they still have their own like evolutionary path. So it's just like that we're going through our evolution thing like in parallel. That's just what it is.
Well, what I'm suggesting here is like when you have a goldfish, actually even a shark, you know what, fuck it, I'm not even going to talk about the goldfish because the goldfish are fucking stupid, but a shark will only grow to the size of what its environment can withstand. That's pretty awesome, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a shark that lives in a tank all its life, it's not going to grow that big. But say you put that same shark outside into the wilderness, that thing could be a great white shark and grow 12 feet long, you know? It's just, so what I'm saying is, like, there was 6 of these mass extinction events, and the horseshoe crab, the nautilus, and the, even like squids and all that, they survived all of these critically detrimental, I guess, catastrophes that occurred to the biomasses of this planet. Like the Halcyon extinction, which was the most recent, was 12,000 years ago. And that was when the Great Ice Age happened.
Okay.
And that's why we don't have saber-toothed tigers and all that really anymore. Or like big birds and stuff. And I mean, we had elephant birds, but those guys died because of humans. We had a lot of crazy animals that were even around like 200 years ago that are dead now. Okay, let's take for instance the dodo bird. Okay, the dodo birds were totally docile, peaceful creatures that had achieved everything that you have stated may be the purpose of life. Mm-hmm. The dodo birds existed on like one island for the most part, and they would lay one egg, and that was good enough because they didn't want to over impede on the threshold that their species could withstand in that environment, in that ecosystem. And these animals had no natural predators, and they didn't have any disease like immunity because they had been in this isolated situation. They didn't kill anything. I think they just ate like shit, like berries and crap. Like,
but then that's good. That's good environment karma. Then have they transcended anything because of this good karma? Or are they just a reincarnation?
Well, that's what I'm going to tell you is that what happened to these poor little guys that everyone calls stupid now is that American, or not even Americans, just we're going to call Eastern or, European settlers, or they went there and they had rats that came with them on their dirty ass ships. This happened to the Native Americans too. The dirty ass fucking low vibes of these imperialists came to these poor little dodo birds, and the rats came, ate their eggs, and the humans hunted them, and they got them sick. And between the humans just being there and the rats just eating their nests, they went extinct.
That's really sad.
It is really sad. So is the point of evolution to be able to live in any environment and withstand even 6 extinction events, having God slam his banhammer down on everything, and then you're still fucking there? Or are you a dodo bird who is peaceful and living it up, and just to get its fucking whole civilization destroyed because its eggs get eaten and it can no longer reproduce?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question for the audience.
Yeah, it's like
any animal over will probably. Oh, you'll be able to chat with them. Is really into this? I'm not really that much. Like, okay, it's interesting to listen to you say stuff about it.
Well, this is just fascinating, and what I'm trying to get at here is that there's always an essential there. Like, no matter what, essentials have to be there. The foundation, it must be there. And you can look at this as like a painting, like in a scene. Like, you have to have like a sun, the background, the foreground, like the grass or whatever, and then maybe the subject, maybe a tree, actually, like, some scenery, and then you have like the subject, which might be a human or an animal or something. There doesn't always have to be a subject, And that's what we're classifying and identifying here with these extinctions, or even with the sun blowing up and there being no earth or even sun. Like, you know, that's just void or space or, you know, cosmos, gases and metals and raw components.
I guess, like, we've been asking a lot of questions, but we've just left with more questions about a subject.
Well, yeah, it's the question that will always produce more questions. So that's why I'm saying is, like, the answer to me seems that when something is essentially achieved its purpose or function, true functionality, that is the evolution, is being able to function to its authentic and peak efficiency.
Have humans reached that? Achieved that?
Well,
are they now?
If I compare the human race to that of the shark, I'm just gonna say, like, the shark's still fucking up there. Like, the sharks are chilling. Even if they kill 10 of us a year, and we kill like 12,000 of them a year. Yeah, coconuts kill more people a year than sharks do. So sharks not even are murderers. They're just really effective hunters, but they're not even the most effective hunters. Okay? They're actually only like 50, like, success rate of hunting is like what you define as like the best hunter, and I believe hold on. Okay, so hyenas, if you think about in terms of like just animals, apparently have a 75% hunting success. And like I said, great white sharks are at 48%. And peregrine falcons are also at 47%. So what we're seeing
creates
here
more questions, actually.
Yeah, so what I'm going to say is, because great white sharks are predominantly solitary hunters, although you can see like instances of this happening like in group hunting, but the spotted hyenas are always in a pack. They're always laughing together, dude. They're like, ha ha ha, we're gonna get you. Because if you hear them laughing at you in the fucking savannah, it doesn't matter if you're a lion or a tiger or an elephant. Like, okay, baby elephant, not a real elephant, or a dying elephant. But, you know, they're going to get you if they put their eyes on you, because they're going to hunt you down, wear you down, chase you. They got the whole gang with them. You know, you're almost done, but I'm pretty sure.
Well, that's another factor.
Hunter on Earth. I believe I want dragonflies. Fuck yeah, I was right, but I wanted to make sure. Dragonflies are actually the highest observed hunting success creature on the planet, with a 97% hunting success rate. Almost 100% of the time, the dragonfly will catch its prey.
Wow.
So is that the peak evolution? Right there, is that it almost does what it needs to do if it wants to do it. You know, it gets it done. There's no obstacle. Like, is evolution just removing obstacles that come between the subject and the process? Because if that's the case, these dragonflies are doing what they need to do better than everything else by a long shot. And dragonflies have been around a long time too, but they're actually much smaller. All insects were much fucking bigger back in the day, in the Cambrian period. Those guys are crazy.
Wow. Yeah, another factor. So I guess we're gonna end here, because
no, we're not done yet.
Okay, then I'm gonna leave you, and you're gonna podcast.
I'm just gonna podcast alone. I wanted to check how long dragonflies have been around. They've been around for like 300 million.
I'm gonna get some food, okay?
You're gonna get food? Oh my god.
Go talk to the audience if you're really passionate about that. So, I wish you good luck, and I'm gonna eat
All
something. You
right,
can end the
well, I'm
podcast
gonna
whenever you want.
go. I'm gonna go. We can go now.
No, you can talk about
No,
your
I
fireflies and how long they've been here. Come on.
It was dragonflies,
the
actually.
dragonflies.
So I'm gonna let you go eat. Maybe you'll have a 97% success rate at doing that. I don't know.
I don't know, because there's always food falling off the table.
All right.
Maybe 97.
Well, I guess that's your answer. I don't think humans have done it yet.
So are you humans noobs?
Humans are noobs, yeah. Sounds like it.
Alright, so to goof or to goob?
To goof or to goob? That is the question.
No, you have to answer it.
No, dude, that's the question.
No, that's the question I'm asking to you.
Well,
you have to answer it to finish the episode. That's the key element to it. Or it'll just go on
I think
forever.
the answer is to goob.
To goob. Why?
I can't tell you why. I'm just telling you. That's my answer. I can't explain it because I was the one who portrayed and actually conceived this question.
Let's goob then.
We're gonna goob together, and I guess we'll. Yeah, because I feel like if you goof, then like it's not really helping anybody. But if you're goobing, at least you're doing something, right? But drink your smoothies, and that's all here for here today, folks. Please do yourself a favor and check out some crazy cool documentaries on all kinds of animals and even prehistoric animals, because that's our ancestors, even if they aren't humans.
Yeah, if you guys love that, I don't care. To be honest, I mean, it was fun, like I said, but it's not my juice.
Oh, it is your juice, though, and you just failed to remember it.
No, it is yours. Like, you're just the historian and animal lover, and you even have a cat. I don't.
I know, but I'm telling you, you wouldn't exist without any of those, so you have to.
Yeah, I know. I'm really, I appreciate them, and I'm really grateful for them, but like, I don't care, That's why my point the whole time was to like actually connect it to the transcendence and spirituality, what we're talking about.
Well,
which is the only thing I'm interested in, really.
Well, I was trying to explain to it that perhaps the spiritual journey of one organism or species or genome is much different than that of a human's perspective on it.
Yeah, that's. Yeah,
and maybe a shark's spiritual journey has led it here and has kept it here. And maybe a shark loves being a shark and it will never stop loving being a shark. And until it stops loving being a shark, maybe that's the necessary requirement to evolve past and transcend the state of being a shark. Well, what we were getting at is that the essentials of all these animals are functional and serve a purpose, different to that of the other. And so, example, dragonflies in the sky and sharks in the sea, and they do what they do better than another can do it. And that is why their purpose is there, and their functionality is essential.